Welcome back to Eric Unfiltered. I am your host, Eric Dickinson. Before I get started, if you could go over to X and give me a follow at Eric Not Sorry. And you can also follow me over on Facebook at Eric Unfiltered Podcast. Now, if you have already followed me, you will see that I made a post the other day about farms, specifically about farms here in Connecticut, because I would like to buy some real meat. Because I kind of question some of this stuff. You know, I'm on the internet a little too much. Let me just say that. So I put a post out there of basically anybody from Connecticut that follows me that knows any good local farms that sells like real meat, real chicken, real beef, eggs, and all that. Give them a shout out. Let me know this and that. So one of my followers, Clint, thank you. He reached out and put a couple. One of them actually responded on Facebook, which I thought was pretty dope. And I already told them that Stead Farm, I will be coming to visit you soon. And they even responded, let us know when I would be going there. So I will be doing that. Couple of things, though, Stead Farm. I went to your Facebook page and I followed you. However, the links to your website don't work. Perhaps it's me. I use the Brave browser, so perhaps it's my browser, but you might want to double check that. Might work fine on the mobile. I don't know, but it's me. Also, just one other critique. I had to look up the address. Really? It's in Barkhamsted. Well, where? I had to look it up. It's okay though, because I want to go there, so I had to look it up. So Stead Farm, I will be visiting them probably in a couple of weeks. It won't be this Saturday. I am already booked. Hopefully in a couple of weeks, especially with the weather getting warmer. I'm really looking forward to it because for me, Barkhamsted is probably about, 45 minutes. Maybe if I take my time. Maybe less if I'm spirited. But if you are interested in checking out Stead Farm, a family-owned farm here in Connecticut, they are located at 173 Old North Road in Barkhamsted, as I've already stated. And you can go to their website and look up all their stuff. I'll have a link in the description. Not paid for this. I'm just giving them a shout out. Like I said, they were the first and so far the only local farm that replied on any of the social medias to somebody posting and tagging them in it. So hey, cool. First farm I'm going to, they're getting my money. Why not? I'm going to go and I'm going to take a road trip and check it out. Why not? Might grab my buddy and his kids, make a day of it, maybe. Or I'll just fly solo. All I know is I'll be recording, so it'll be fun. Anyways, so my last episode, I did a story out of the UK. I have an update on. The story was about Henry Nowak, who was a Polish UK citizen, I believe I'm going off of memory here, who was fatally stabbed, and it made big to-dos because the person that stabbed him was claiming that Henry made racist remarks and had attacked him, and it was in self-defense. But while Henry was bleeding to death, stabbed in the lung, amongst other locations, officers, instead of administering first aid, they handcuffed him first, because go back and watch the episode. The UK is so cooked. But the update on this story was Henry Nowak's killer, Vikram Digwa, has been found guilty of murder, and not only of murder but of carrying a knife in public, because that's a big to-do over there. For some reason. The reason why Vikram Digwa was carrying a knife is because of his religion. That is one of the things he stood upon, in his defense as to why he was carrying the weapon, which, okay, that is a legit thing. But again, over there in the UK, they kind of have a thing for that because they're soft. But like I said, the good news, Vikram Digwa was found guilty of his murder. Also, his buddy, which I did not make reference to, I was unaware of, Karan Kaur, I don't know, I don't really care, but his buddy was convicted of assisting an offender. I don't know the details of that, but his sentencing will be relatively soon. But today, my recording is on June 1st, so today Digwa was sentenced to life imprisonment with a minimum term of 21 years. So, bye, bitch. The judge, William Moseley, sorry if I got your last name wrong, not on purpose, described the killings as deliberate and rejected all claims of racism or justification, noted Digwa's weapons obsession and lies, and said the actions brought shame on his family and faith and stirred racial tensions. Yeah, it did. Kind of did. So, if you can hear my Mo the Chonk meowing at me here, but as I have continued to post, Henry deserved way better. And look, honestly, if first aid was administered right away, honestly, I'm not a doctor. You know, I'm not an ME. He was probably, the 3 extra minutes probably wasn't going to do much, but it's simply the actions of, you have a guy that was clearly bleeding standing in front of you saying he's dying and was stabbed, and you're like, no, nah, dude, here's some cuffs. It's like, what? This whole situation was just screwed. But at least he was now a convicted murderer, and Henry's killer is doing time. Okay, one story I have here in Connecticut, I asked some of you listeners, hey, what do you want me to cover? And again, Clint, shout out to you, man, posted something about how he was questioning about like the low-income housing stuff that we keep hearing about in the news here in Connecticut, and it seems to be a big to-do. So I did a quick look up about it. I'm going to read it. Honestly, dude, I hope you're smarter than me and you can make sense of this. This is honestly a topic I would call my dad and ask him questions about, because he would be able to school me on it. Obviously, I can't do that anymore, unfortunately. But this is what I found regarding Connecticut housing. So the basics, let's see here. Connecticut does not require every new home or housing development in every town to include low-income units. Because I know on the news I've been hearing stuff of, there is a housing shortage and housing is too expensive. Yeah, no shit. I know. Why do you think I want to leave? Because I can't afford to buy a cardboard box here. But if I came here illegally, rent-free. Anyways, maybe if we got rid of those people, some units might open up. But I digress. There is a big push, anyways, for more housing. But because everything is so freaking expensive here, don't worry. Ned Lamont said they're just getting started. Only been 8 years. Yeah. Working really hard to make things affordable for the middle class. Right here, Ned. Your time's coming, November. Can't wait. Can't come fast enough. Anyways, I digress. The coffee's kicking in. And my meds. So, because there is a housing shortage and because things are so expensive, people are screaming for, I would like to buy a house I can't afford. Yeah, that's a problem. Because there is no blanket rule forcing a specific percentage on every builder. The main law is from 1989, Section 8-30G. I have no idea. Again, this is what I found. If y'all can make heads or tails, if you're smarter than me on this, educate me. Seriously, educate me. Enlighten me. And I know I'm saying that word wrong on purpose. It's called public school, SKOOL. Now, this Section 8-30G, it only kicks in for towns that have less than 10% of their total housing stock considered affordable. Deed-restricted or government-assisted units for people making 80% or less of median income. Current numbers as of 2026, only about 31 out of 169 towns meet the 10% goal. Most towns are still subject to that law. Okay, so how 830G actually works. In towns below 10% affordable housing, a developer can propose a project with at least 30% of the units set aside as affordable. Of those affordable units, at least half must be for people at 60% of median income. If the town denies the project, the developer can appeal it in court. The town has to prove the denial is needed for serious health or serious reasons. That the denial is needed for serious health or safety reasons that outweigh the need for more housing. Courts often side with the developers. There's a note here of the lawmakers' impact. Lawmakers created this system 37 years ago to encourage affordable housing. I was 11. Critics say it has led to large, out-of-scale apartment complexes that change the character of neighborhoods, while only a small number of towns have reached the 10% goal after 3 decades. Yeah. Wow, shocker. Once again, a law that was made that doesn't benefit anybody. Okay, so now the recent changes. HB 8002, so 8002, the 2025 Housing Growth Law, sounds like a wart, took effect in 2026. This is where the more up stuff started kicking up. It requires every town to create or join a housing growth plan showing how they will add more housing overall, including affordable options. Towns that comply can get state grants for roads and infrastructure. Oh, do as we say and we give you free stuff. Awesome. It also makes some zoning changes easier, like allowing more middle housing, duplexes and triplexes, multifamilies, in certain areas. Opponents, including many local officials and Republicans, call it a loss of local control. They argue it adds layers of state bureaucracy and planning requirements without immediately just building new homes. Critics say it burdens towns with more paperwork and compliance rules while still relying heavily on the old 80-30G system. Yeah, let's not just build houses now. I mean, we need more houses. Let's build some. That makes sense to me. But first, here's a checklist. This is bullshit. We know. That's okay. Now, I totally get the comment here. What did I see here where it kind of, changes the character of the neighborhoods? Yeah, I mean, I know immediately where certain demographics and certain leaders immediately jump to. I mean, they immediately go right to race relations and think, oh, so the rich white families don't want, Okay, yeah, you're probably right. Honestly, yeah, you're right. You're right. Those racist, rich white folk don't want you around. You're probably right. But that's not everybody, dude. I mean, ask anybody. Do y'all want like a Walmart built literally next to your driveway? Well, sorry, the government's going to eminent domain it and tough shit on you. People would still be in an uproar for something like that. Now, for those that want to jump on that whole race bandwagon, here's a question. If you do live in the inner city and you're on that bandwagon, okay, let's not say a Walmart. Let's say, would you like a train depot to be built right outside your bedroom window, right next to your apartment complex? Probably not, but I'm here from the government, and I say it's going in because it's going to benefit you and create more jobs. It's going to make it easier for you to transit on the train. So it doesn't matter that you don't want this clackety-clack loud shit outside your bedroom window. Tough shit. I'm here from the government, and you're going to do it. That's basically the concept. It changes the character. I get it. I see it. And yeah, I get it. There's a lot of white rich towns out there that, let's face it. I mean, come on. Let's be real, dog. Come on. But it's true. There is an awful lot of red tape bureaucracy. Like, hi, I'm a developer. I have the capabilities to create jobs for these crew guys and build you 100 houses. Awesome. But you have to do, it's always something. It's always something. You need an inspection. Cool. I am totally down for inspections. I don't want houses falling apart. That whole foundation thing they kind of missed. But, hey, I'm all for inspections. But when it's like, well, we have one inspector, and he only works on Tuesdays between the hours of 1 and 1:15, and he's already booked until 2035. I mean, it's like, really? I mean, I know certain big cities, they don't have that problem, but some small towns, yeah, small towns have that problem. Okay, so here, some towns have their own inclusionary zone rule that require a percentage of affordable units to often 10 to 20% to be in bigger developments, but most towns do not have strong local mandates and rely mainly on the state's 80-30G initiative or incentive. Let's see here. So, Connecticut lawmakers have used the 8-30G and newer law like HB 8002 to try to increase affordable housing and overall home construction. Supporters say these steps are necessary because housing is expensive and supply is short. Yeah, that's supply and demand. Critics argue the approach has eroded local decision-making, encouraged oversized developments in some areas, and still hasn't resolved the affordability for working families after nearly 40 years. Yeah, no shit. Now, if you're curious about what this means for you in your town, then you can go and check your local planning and zoning board or the State Department of Housing's website. So, I hope I added to the confusion. You're welcome, dude. Because my head hurts right now. I'm not smart enough for any of that to make sense. It just, to me, again, I'm a simple guy. It's kind of like the way I look at it is if I ran a town or a state, I look at it as if I ran a company. I start it the way I want to start it, and I want it ran my way. But if an employee came to me and said, hey, boss, I have a suggestion on how we can do something better. All right, what you got, man? And I would listen, and if it made sense, I'd say, do it. Why wouldn't you? So if I'm in a town or running the state and somebody comes to me and says, hey, we're short on houses. Yeah, we are. Do we have anybody that can build them? We do. We have a bunch of guys. Well, go get them. Bring them in. Guys, how many houses? Where? There? Good. Okay, is the town cool with it? Or again, if I'm mayor of the town. All right, everybody's good with it. Neighbors aren't on an uproar. Let's go. Do it. Just get it done. Nope. We can't do it because we have red tape bureaucracy that states you have to have certain percentage of low-income housing built in your town. And again, the state is overstepping its bounds, from what I gathered. At least that's the heartburn. But, yeah, are you shocked that is Connecticut? So, elections have consequences. Remember that. Do your due diligence, everyone. All right, the next story is actually about a story I saw in local news. I had to turn my TV off when it came on because I was getting a migraine, and I have actually never had one. It was on Saturday, and I have had a hair across my butt since Saturday. I don't know why. I woke up like that, and I haven't been able to shake it. But so when this came on the news, I was like, oh, no, not today. Not today, Satan. So the segment started off with how someone was trying to correlate the increase of motorcycle accidents here in Connecticut with the increase in gas cost. I'm not joking. No, I heard it. I had to look it up. This is based on data from UConn's Transportation Safety Research Center. This comes, let's see, from UConn's Eric Jackson. Eric Jackson is a PhD in transportation engineering researcher and administrator at the University of Connecticut. His professional background, let's see, his current role is executive director of the CTI, the Connecticut Transportation Institute at UConn, and director of the Connecticut Transportation Safety Research Center, which he helped establish in 2012. He also has a BS in civil engineering, which he got from the University of Kentucky. He has an MS and a PhD, which he got in civil engineering from UConn. This man is a doctor. He has a doctorate. Now, look, I'm not a doctor. I'm sure this man is a nice dude. I'm guessing. But this statement is, how could someone be that smart, that educated, and be so dumb? Yes, he said that UConn's Eric Jackson noted that crash data shows many incidents involve bikes less than 2 years old, suggesting newer and inexperienced riders. Correct. Now, I don't ride. I have friends that ride. But yes, that statement makes sense. But then he linked this to younger people switching to motorcycles to save on gas. Hey, Eric, I'm glad we spell our name different. It's called spring, dude. It has nothing to do with the price of gas. I mean, don't get me wrong. The percentage of motorcycle riders in Connecticut or around the country or globe that have recently switched to riding their motorcycle to work in places isn't zero. Obviously, there is a percentage of those riders that said, you know what, I'm going to take the bike today. It's nice out and gas prices. Fair enough. It's not, the percentage, like I said, isn't zero, but it's springtime. It's warm out. I don't ride bikes. Mountain bike, sure, but motorcycle riders, do you typically ride your bike on February 7th? I'm guessing not. And I'm guessing because it's pretty effing cold outside. So that's probably why you don't want to. It's May. It's now June. It's springtime. That's when the motorcycles defrost. That's what's hidden under the snow. Did you not know this, dude? That's why. Oh, also, Connecticut drivers are retarded. And I've also seen many motorcycle riders are also retarded. Wheelies down 91, legit. Wheelies about 80 miles an hour down 91 north. Seen it. Weaving in and out of traffic. Yeah. Lane splitting. Now, I'm not sitting here saying it's wrong or right. I'm just saying people lane split. If you don't know what that is, that's when during traffic, cars are basically stopped. Motorcycles that can fit will slip right through the dash line, right between the cars. It's legal as far as I know in Connecticut. If I'm wrong, correct me, but I believe it is legal. But there are people out there that don't take too kindly to it and will, because they're jerks, or when, side view mirrors, I'm sure. Now, obviously, then there's the drivers. How many times recently on those same news channels have been covering wrong way drivers, high speed, speed cameras, people racing, and because people don't know how to fucking drive. People are distracted driving. They're putting in traffic cams because DOT workers, for their safety. Oh, by the way, DOT workers, your safety and well-being is important to me, but it's only worth a $75 fine. Remember that. Just remember that. Because if I were governor and somebody twisted my arm to put these cameras in, your lives mean more than that to me. The fine would be at least $80. I'm kidding. It would be about $5,000 for your first offense. Your second offense, $15, and your car. Because in my state, the DOT worker's life matters. But I'm not running for office. Not yet. Not here. Anyways, so people don't know how to drive their cars. That's another reason why I don't ride a bike. I have enough problems driving around the streets with morons with four wheels because people are on their phone or their heads up their ass. I've ranted here before about Connecticut drivers. Mass, you ain't much better. New York, New Jersey. So many people up here in the Northeast are just stupid when they're behind the wheel. So I am sure there are some people that have switched over to riding on two to save money on gas. However, the vast majority, no, it's freaking warm out and riding a motorcycle is badass. Right? Right. But let's not take into account people being dumb while riding on two wheels. Or four, for that matter. Okay? Let's not try to correlate, because I could see the dots that somebody is trying to put together. Believe it or not, the conspiracy mind, my brain went haywire on medication earlier, and my first thought was, is somebody actually trying to do an end around to correlate motorcycle accidents and deaths to Trump? Because if he didn't invade Iran, the gas prices wouldn't be high. So if the gas prices weren't high, these poor individuals wouldn't. Is this what somebody's trying to... Dude, please. If this is what someone's trying to do, just... That's hilarious. Okay, I'm moving on because that's just... Yeah. Ride safe. Don't hot dog it. You don't know where the wet leaves are, bro. Come on. And car drivers, head on a swivel, stay frosty. You don't know where the deer is. Watch for the Harley and the Kawasaki and the Hondas and whatever brands. I don't know who the hell. My Hayabusas. I don't know how to say it. I don't know. I know BMW makes a bike, but I don't know. I'm German over-engineered piece of shit. Anyways, moving on. This is from my friend Jim. I actually heard about this on the radio earlier, but I did not delve into the details until my friend Jim sent me a link. And so, Manchester teen arrested after pistol whipping, ghost guns, and drugs are seized. Wait, what? Yes, Manchester, Connecticut, not Manchester, England. Here, Manchester, Connecticut. So here are the bullet points. A 15-year-old Manchester resident called police on May 21st, my birthday, to report that he had been assaulted, bad gift, at Charter Oak Park the night before. Oh, it's the day before. I'm kidding. I'm teasing. 15-year-old got assaulted on May 20th. So he called the police, Manchester police, on May 21st. The victim reported that a 16-year-old Manchester resident he knew pistol whipped him. 16! Pistol whipped him. All right. He's not... Doesn't he know he's not allowed to possess a pistol? Oh, that rascal. Officers located and arrested the 16-year-old suspect on May 21st without incident. The suspect's name was not released due to his age. Officers obtained and executed a search warrant at the suspect's Manchester home. I'm sorry. The suspect's Manchester home. Does this 16-year-old own his own property? Because, damn, I thought I was badass doing that at like 20. Huh. Okay. I got questions. Multiple firearms and firearm accessories were seized, including the guns suspected to have been used during the assault. 3D printing equipment was recovered, along with several firearm accessories made using 3D printed technology. Just say made by a 3D printer. God. Among the items seized was a 3D printed switch capable of converting a firearm Glocks into a fully automatic weapon. That was for you, dude. You know who you are. Huh. Doesn't this 16-year-old homeowner know that Glock switches are illegal? Did he get them out? He must not be listening to okay. He's not tuning into the news. He's having way more fun. Also confiscated was marijuana, vape cartridges, and cash. They were also seized from the home. Additional details. The investigation continues. And additional charges are pending. The 16-year-old Manchester resident, name not released, charges filed were second-degree assault, first-degree threatening, criminal possession of a firearm, second-degree reckless endangerment, risk of injury because he assaulted a minor, second-degree breach of peace, manufacturer of firearm without a serial number, hence the ghost gun, possession of a machine gun conversion device. Wow, that sounds fancy. I'm sure he'll receive 0 to 1 hour of jail time. I'm sure of it. I am curious, though. Does this 16-year-old indeed own this property? Where are the parents? That is kind of the gist. Where's the parents? Also, here's another question. This doesn't sound like this was situation. This lovely household was something that happened at random. I'm sure this was going on for a while. I'm curious if DCF knew about this family. I mean, this 16-year-old homeowner. I'm curious if DCF was aware. I'm sure through the investigation we'll find out. I'm sure of it. All right, I don't have any rant or anything to close out the episode today because I started it off with Stead Farm. So again, I'll close it out with Stead Farm. So Stead Farm. I'm gonna be inside Bark Hampstead soon. Probably in a couple weekends, heading over to Stead Farm. I'm looking forward to it. I hope you are too. I don't know if I'll be doing interviews, but I will be bringing my phone with a fully charged battery, and maybe I'll invest in a cheap okay camera. Maybe I'll just use my phone. Probably better. Okay, so I'm looking forward to that. Thank you for tuning in. If you like this episode, give it a like, subscribe, the bell, all the internet stuff. Share it, tell your friends, hey, check out this schmuck. If you want to follow me, you can follow me on Facebook at Eric Unfiltered Podcast. If you like things a little more spicy, you could definitely follow me over at Eric Not Sorry on X. I am also available on Rumble now if you do not like using YouTube. I know some people don't like YouTube for various reasons. That's fine. That is why I am available now on Rumble. I have not, nor will I go back and upload all of my stuff. Nope. I put up all of my interviews, though, and a couple of my most recent episode is up there, and my most popular episode is also up, and then obviously this episode will be there too, and all subsequent new episodes will be over on Rumble. And again, it's also Eric Unfiltered Podcast over on Rumble. So thank you for tuning in, and I look forward to catching you on Thursday.